Hello, I'm going to show you guys how to make some pop-up cards, particularly the gingerbread ones and one of the snowflakes. So you all should have your templates, and your templates should look like this. So what you want to do is you want to cut them out along the black line. So when you have all of your templates cut out, you will have these pieces. So this will be the sides of the house, this is inside, the middle part, and then the two roofs. Once you have all of these cut out, and take your time, use a pair of good scissors, and take your time cutting them, do it nice and slowly. Then you're going to take the piece of white or brown cardboard paper, it's like cardstock, and you're going to place them on, and you're going to trace all of these. So this one here, don't do it this way. Place it so that way it's more like this. And then you're going to take a pencil, and if you need to, you could take a little bit of tape to tape it down and hold it in place. This moves around very easily. So once again, so if I match up here, and if I tape that down, and then I can trace this entire thing. Also notice where my little dotted lines are. I can add a little bit of extra at the ends, so that way I know where I need to dot those. So again, I'm going to take all of these, and I'm going to place them down, and I'm going to trace everything. It'd probably be best if I lay everything out so I get a good idea of where everything's going to go. So I like to use the flat edge here lined up with the flat there, and this one in there. Once that's done, once you have all of those traced on, it should look something like that. Okay, so now again, so you have those little marks where you're going to have the dotted line. That we're not going to cut, but what we are going to do is you're going to take a paper clip, and you're going to take a ruler, and I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to trace and press down. So when you take a look at this, all of these areas that have dotted lines, you're going to go in, and you're going to line that up, and then I have my little dot there, little dot here. I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to press. Same thing with this one lined up here, press that down. And you'll create an indentation. I'm not sure if you could see it in the light, but there's a slight indentation. Once I have all of these traced, and I do my indentation marks on all the spots that require it, with my ruler, then once again I'm going to cut them all out. So I already pre-cut because I don't want to take forever just having you watch me cut. So once I cut them all out, now I have these 4 pieces. So now I'm going to match it up, and I'm going to fold where I have that indentation, and you get a really nice crisp fold. So on all those areas, and you can see how this is going to make the house shape. So same thing with this one. These 2 pieces, there's the indentation marks here, you fold those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit of Elmer's glue. So on my template it lists where I'm going to have the glue. So I would have my glue over here and over here. So I'm doing it backwards. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit. You want to use not a whole lot, because if you use a lot of Elmer's glue it takes a very long time to dry. Now I'm going to take this guy, it's all folded, and I'm going to place that one there. And if I have to hold it down a little bit, that's okay. And then this half, I'm going to place over here. See how I'm holding that down? And if it takes a little bit for it to dry, that's all right. We got time. Better to take our time and do it well than to try to rush through. Because if you rush through, and if it's a little off, then it might not close. So this last pit I'm going to put on this little tab. This is tab C, as we can see here. And I'm going to place that over here, and I'm going to glue that on. Now I've done a couple of these, so it might be easier for me. Again, take your time. So once you have that done, you should have your little box, house. I have one that's already done, and it should fold closed. Now I still have these two parts. So what I'm going to do next is I have this template, which came with yours. I'm going to take a piece of paper and fold it in half. Fold it really, I'm lined everything, I already pre-folded this. But if you line it all up and you use your fingernail, you can create a nice fold. If you're not too sure how to do this, you can get your parents to help. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to fold along that dotted line, and I'm going to make sure it fits right in. Fits right in. And now I'm going to take my paper clip again, and I'm going to trace hard on those marks, on all of those lines. Once you do that, again, I don't know if you can totally see it. I see the indentation marks, and I can draw lightly. This is going to be the spot where I add glue. So if I add a little bit of glue to these, just a little bit, I can then take my house. So make sure that it's the long one and the short one on this side. So and then I'm gonna place it down. And again, I want to make sure that this corner matches with this fold here. Otherwise, it's not gonna close. I'm just pressing down with my hands. I'll do it like this, so that way you can see it better. So if I just press down and hold it for a little bit, so that way it'll dry, and then that'll hold in place. Now, the test is if I can do that. Yes. Okay. So once that's taken care of, oh, see, it needed to move a little bit in more, which is okay. So if I go like this, actually, what I should do is I'll take a little bit of glue here, keep it folded closed like this, and fold this over. So that way, I hold it, and when I open it, it should be able to stay open. Okay, like that. Okay, the next step is the roof. So I have this one where, again, I have the folded indentation area. So once I place those on, I can place this here. Turn it around to make it easier. Add a little bit of glue, and I can place this one on. And once you do that, you will have your house like this. Again, it folds and opens. Sometimes the positioning of this wall has to be in a little more, like I showed you when I held it up and I put a little bit of glue on that tab. Once you have it done like this, now you're able to take all your different colored paper. My pieces are a lot bigger than yours, but some of them are the same size as yours. And I can decorate it. So now I have this little one that I did, where I added white for the frosting, and some jelly beans, or I don't know, gobstoppers, whatever you want. You can. This one's smaller. I made you specifically made you a larger template, so that way you can do different things. Like, say, if you want candy canes and other gummy bears and Reese's Pieces and stuff like that. And that's that one. So the next one that I want to show you is the gingerbread man. So there's a couple ways that you can work on this one. I'm going to show you how to do this way. So for this one, once again, you take your template. I have two separate templates, but you're going to have one. And I'm going to cut out the gingerbread man, and I'm going to cut out this rectangle. Once I cut out that rectangle, again, along the folded line, the dotted lines is where I'm going to fold it, so I get a shape kind of like this. When I cut out my little gingerbread man, I'm going to put him on my brown paper and trace him, and again, mark, so that way use your paper clip with the ruler. I was about to do it without. Line it up. If you need to tape it down, please do. And I'm going to press it so that way it indents, and then I would cut him out and fold it so that way I get that. The next step is just to put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here. Glue him on, and then if I take a blank card, well, I don't have a blank card. if I take a blank card like this, I can place him down, and I can just put a little bit of glue back here and a little bit of glue back there, and I place it on. And you get your little gingerbread man. Just make sure that it's even in the middle. And that is that. So the last one that I want to show you, here's, oh, you know what? Let me go back really quick. So here's my gingerbread template. So if I take a little bit of glue here, and I place it there and there, and I take my gingerbread man and I place him right on top, once it's dry and it's glued, it'll be something like that. So then you can decorate your gingerbread man. So I took a bunch, I used a hole puncher, and I just cut out some other stuff to make a little frosting. I didn't put his mouth in the middle because that piece of paper would bend. So I put his mouth more on the side. So this one I had his hands bent. This one I do not. So, but you could decorate it. You can even, give them all sorts of things. You can decorate around the edge as well. If you have extra little brown paper, you can make small little gingerbread men, and you can decorate whatever you want. You can decorate the front. I leave my fronts blank as just examples of what you guys can do. The last one is the snowflake. So for this one, once again, you have a template, and what you're going to do, this one's a little bit trickier. So this one I recommend if you have a parent that can help you. I would recommend you use an X-Acto knife. The parent should be using the X-Acto knife. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut out this entire template. You're going to follow the lines. The only area that you're not going to cut out properly is this area. You're going to follow this line, and then you're going to actually cut this dotted line. And when you cut that out, so you notice I put my cap away. I want to be safe with it. When you cut it out, it should look something like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and you see how there's the line there, I can fold it, find that fold, and now I can take a piece of paper that's, again, folded it in half, and if I place this right in on there so it fits snug, now I can lay that down, and I can take my pencil, and I can trace the entire snowflake. The dotted line area, I'm not going to color in. I'm not going to trace that. I'm going to leave that blank. So I have this version. So this is my snowflake that I cut out of there. You can either use that, or you can place this over and trace that. So you see how I traced everything except that end area. I deliberately left that open. Because now, with my good paper, I'm going to go in once again with my X-Acto knife, and I should have something underneath. If you don't have cardboard, or I use this type of cardboard, so that way I don't cut my table. And now I'll go in, and I will gently cut out my everything. But you're not going to cut, and this part's going to stay in. So you're just going to use the X-Acto knife on the lines, and you're going to go through the entire thing. This area you're not going to cut, this area you're not going to cut. What you will do with that area is, once again, take our paper clip, take our ruler, and you're going to press and indent it. Once you have this all cut out, it will pop out like that. You might need to pop it with your hand. The indentations will bend, and then you get a nice pop out. The last thing I can do is, with my template, I can position this wherever I want, and I can trace it, cut out the white paper on here, so if I trace that, and then I attach my blue paper to the back. When I fold, I can pull these pieces out, and then when I fold it over, I can take those pieces and I can add them to the front of my card. And that's it.